So Cam, how would you say your adjustment has been from the USHL to playing NCAA hockey this year?
Yeah, I mean it's been tough for sure. Just getting up to speed and getting up there physically with all the older guys and everything. But I would say within the first couple of months, I've been able to adjust decently well. With our staff and everything, we've it's pretty easy to adjust. And whether it's in the gym, nutrition, coaching staff, whatever it may be. So it's pretty fortunate. It's been good.
You had a good game Saturday night up there in North Dakota. Talk about your growth through this season. You really come on strong these last couple weekends.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think just one of the things is just being ready to play any type of role. Is something that I'm trying to learn this year. So I think that's been something that's been sticking with me, and just trying to find a way to make an impact every night, whether it's fourth, first, whatever line it may be. So just trying to find a way to make an impact.
Got an important non-conference series coming up here with Augustana. What are you guys anticipating from them? What can we look forward to seeing out of you guys this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, we know they're good. They're a good ranked opponent again, so it's going to be a good challenge. We were talking as players, and I think one of the things that was said was, everybody always talks about it's us versus everybody, but something good was it's us versus us, because I think we're such a good team, and the only time we ever get put in a bad position is when we put ourselves in a bad position. So knowing that we're always in control and have the ability to be good is pretty special. So we're looking forward to it.
I guess with the holidays coming up, I guess you could say this is kind of the mid-season, and both of you want to comment. I was just wondering, Coach, how would you rate the team so far this season? I mean, do you see a lot of positives, and if so, what were they? Or?
Yeah, I don't want to speak for Cam here, but just I think we're probably coming up on halfway through the point of the year here there. So I think the guys are doing a really good job. We're having one-on-ones today with all the guys, and I think they're really focused on finishing on a good note here, finishing the second half, and make sure you're ready to go here, and then get a chance to rest and recover a little bit here.
So Cam, you moved from Minnesota to Canada when your dad took a job with the Maple Leafs. What was it like adapting to a different culture and hockey scene at a young age, and did it help you become more comfortable with change?
Yeah, I mean, I moved around a bunch before that, so was kind of used to moving around a little bit. Playing in the GTHL up there in Toronto it's almost like a mini NHL. It's pretty crazy. The travel, the speed of hockey, like everything up there is pretty wild. So it was exciting for sure, and I think it helped a lot.
You played for Greg Zanin at Stillwater, someone who played here at Omaha, and was a teammate with Coach Gabinet for 3 seasons. Did Coach Zanin ever talk to you about his time at Omaha or playing with Coach Gabinet, and did it influence how you viewed Omaha?
Yeah, I mean, it just gave me that much more confidence in the school and everything. We would chat, and he would just tell me about all these fun stories he had playing here. The atmosphere, the fans, the schooling. He just gave me a lot of confidence in the school, so it was good.
Do we get to hear any of these fun stories, or are they?
I'll keep those behind closed doors.
Defensively, last weekend and the weekend before, I thought defensively you guys played pretty good. I mean, you kept your opponents to a fairly good low number. What do you say about you guys pleased with defensive force?
I mean, as pleased as we are, obviously a W would have been a lot better. I think, like I said earlier, it's self-inflicted wounds, which it's a good thing. We have the confidence and we have the ability to beat these teams. It's when we kind of get in our own way. So I think if we can just kind of clean up little things, we can sneak our way into the top 20 here, 100%.
Augustana presents kind of a different challenge than North Dakota. So what did you see from looking at them this week that you can build on from how you performed against North Dakota?
Yeah, I mean, we know that they have really offensive, fast D. They like to join the rush, so it's going to be a good challenge for us to make sure that we're tracking back hard and taking care of defense first here. we've been working on it all week, so we're confident going into it.
When you first committed to Omaha in August of 2021, which you called your dream D1 school, what was it about the program or the coaching staff that excited you the most?
I mean, right away, just throughout the whole, kind of recruitment process and everything, Gabs, Bernie, like all the coaches were very, very consistent with checking in on me, asking how I'm doing, just keeping in touch throughout the whole season. So we built a pretty good relationship. And then when I came on my visit and saw the facilities and everything, I think it was pretty easy. Like if you've been around here and seen the rink and the locker room and everything, it's pretty unbelievable. And it's only gotten better since I committed. So it's super lucky. It's nice.
Fun question for me. So the fans first met you at Mavfest during Welcome Week. You were DJ Cam.
Yeah.
What else would fans be surprised to know about you?
I think a fun one would be I was born over in Scotland. I feel like not a lot of people know that one, so that's a little fun fact.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm pretty much done, I guess.
Okay.
All good.
Nice job.
Yeah.
Great work.
Thanks,
bud.
man.
Thanks,
Yeah,
bud.
thank you guys.
Questions for Mike?
First of all, the big question everyone wants to know is how's Simon doing?
Yeah, he won't be able to play this weekend. Yeah, so obviously losing him first minute of the game there on Friday there. So, yeah, just been one of those things that, unfortunately a little bit of adversity just piles on there a little bit. But, hey, great chance for Doss to continue his growth. And we got Krager there, if need be as well there. So, unfortunately he'll be unavailable this weekend.
Dawson, though, stepped right up, came in cold, but was able to kind of settle things down, especially after the first period. How important was it for him to get that game experience leading up to this, even though Simon was expected to be the starter?
Yeah, we obviously, got a world-class goalie in Simon there, but even just talking with Coach Aubrey there from last season, and we kind of talked about sometimes it's nice to have a plan before the season starts on getting players experience, and I think we did just that with Dawson. And you never know when situations like this arise, and so it's really good for him to get some CC experience, some Duluth experience there, and really, I think he feels pretty comfortable in the net now, and now he's the guy, right? So I think that was perfect. That fact that he's already, he's not just getting thrown in there now suddenly with an injury there. He can be confident in himself that he's been there, done that, and now is just going to get some increased playing time.
Last year, and correct me if I'm wrong, but last year I think there were times maybe when there was kind of up and down as far as winning streaks or losing streaks, and it just seems this year a little bit more even, more, consistency. I don't know. Would you say that's accurate? And if so, do you think that's an improvement from last year, you think? Or?
Yeah, I think anytime in a hockey season you're going to have some ebbs and flows to the season, and that's part of playing in this conference, part of things you got to deal with there. But again, I think you got to keep focusing back on what are you taking responsibility for? How are you getting better? You heard it from Cam here, right? What are the things that we are doing that are hurting us in the win-loss category, and how do we change those? And again, you can see we've had some timely turnovers that have really hurt us at different times, but 100% the players aren't going out there trying to do that. But at the same sense, it's happening. So we got to address it. We got to get better at it and make sure we're improving at those things. And which the team's doing. Again, just me with the guys. It's a lot of personal responsibility in that locker room. Not a lot of excuses there. No, we have to be better in certain areas there. And then for me, it's about keeping the guys believing in themselves too, because they are doing a lot of good things. When you watch our games, we're right there, and just coming up short there. So got to continue with that.
You guys continued to build momentum towards throughout the weekend, towards the end of the game, especially on Saturday. But ultimately, like Cam said, didn't come out with the W. How do you keep the team going when it just seems like, injuries and things are, causing things sometimes out of your control, sometimes penalties in your control, but how do you handle that?
Yeah, like you said, we've got we've got guys ill right now that might not be available. Like you said, Simon's hurt, but I think again at the same breath, that's life a little bit, right? It's going to be hard, right? If you play in this conference, it's going to be hard. Look at our last 8 opponents we played in conference. Those are good teams you're playing against. So unfortunately, if you're not scoring a lot of goals, those 1 or 2 costly mistakes really hurt you. So you have to stay just focused on the belief. It's got to stay there. And again, I don't feel like when you're talking to guys, they're upset, they're frustrated, but they understand they're doing some good things that are going to eventually be rewarded if you can continue to do that and make improvements in areas you got to keep improving on.
You were talking about the scoring. So statistically right now, the team is allowing 1 more goal than you're scoring. What do you attribute that to? Is it structure? Is it goaltending, execution?
Yeah, again, you know, you need the save at the right time, right? You need a good save at the right time. You need to put the puck in the net at the right time, especially in those 1-goal games. So I think that's really important there. And you know, usually if you find ways to do that, we've been in a lot of games over the years where that's the league, right? Like, it's tight. We're not gonna get off the bus and beat teams by 5 goals in our conference, especially those tie-in teams. So you got to find ways to narrow that gap a little bit there, and usually that's the small little details. And unfortunately right now, most of those are coming off of kind of some untimely turnovers by us. And one famous coach always said there's no D-zone coverage for turnovers. So you got to really manage that puck properly and making sure you're doing the right things at the right time and being aware of the situation you're playing in, and which our guys are growing at and they're learning at. And like I said, they're taking responsibility for themselves.
So it sounds like there's optimism for, a better second half of the season, or an improved second half of the season. It sounds like there's certainly a determination, I guess you might say.
Yeah. Again, you got to reflect, right? You can't make excuses. You got to look at what are you doing? What actions are you taking? And if you're doing the work and you're, holding yourself to a high standard, and you're trying to do everything you can in your power to be the best version and the best team you can, like you mentioned, other stuff's out of your control a little bit, right? So that's why you got to keep coming back. Now, if that's lacking or we're just saying, oh, shucks, we'll get them next time, I don't think that's good enough. So you got to make sure you're just digging in here and finding ways to not on my watch, so to speak, right? And then if you can do those things, then maybe you're the one coming up with the 1-goal win, not being on the other end of it all the time.
Speaking specifically about Augustana, what can we expect to see from them? They're in their new arena now for a bit and have not lost this season there yet.
Yeah.
How do you make it difficult for them to get another win this weekend?
Yeah, like you mentioned, they're good. We've got to give them credit. They're playing well. I think they're 14th or 15th in the NPI, right? And played a lot of good hockey there. So again, you got to be coming there ready to play, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to be ready to play there. And again, don't want to, obviously congratulate them on their good season, but also, hey, we got to be focused on us and making sure we're doing everything in our power to, like I mentioned earlier, improve in those areas we can keep improving in.
Like we talked about, Cam played for Greg Zanin at Stillwater, someone you played with here. How important is that shared language, that shared kind of culture when he comes in here as a freshman?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think anytime you can spend time with people that have played here before is a positive, and get to talk about their experience in here. And I don't know too many guys that haven't enjoyed Omaha, not only from a hockey standpoint, but from a community, city, university standpoint as well. So pretty cool when I think those guys get to hear it, from guys firsthand that have experienced it, right? And gets them excited about being here and playing here. And just a little bit like, recruits, if we're recruiting a kid that has a friend that plays here, that's a huge positive for us, because again, I don't think people know just how much people enjoy living here and playing here. But when you can hear it from somebody firsthand that's experiencing it, I think that goes a long way with impacting players' opinion of the program.
Just talk a little bit about Cam. He committed a long time ago. I mean, that is a long time ago.
Yeah.
And he talked about how you guys kept in contact with him. How did his development over that time convince you that he was still a good fit?
Yeah, again, it's kind of funny when you think about back in the day just how recruiting was, and just 2021 you mentioned, right, that's a long time ago. And again, one of those guys that I think you can see it, they're a little bit overwhelmed when they first get here, just at the level of play, as you mentioned. But then when you have that mentality like he's doing and taking that responsibility and putting the work in on the ice, off the ice, it's been pretty impressive to see his growth And I've told him straight up, just, one of those guys that maybe you're kind of nervous about playing him early on in the season, just as he's learning and growing, to now you're almost excited to get him to the lineup, and good for him, right? He's giving you an excuse to play him all the time, which is a job of a guy that's trying to crack the lineup. And so I give Cam a lot of credit, man. He's really, I think he can shoot the puck in the net, and his competitiveness is, I know he's a smaller guy, but to me he's ultra competitive out there, which shows on the ice. So just a guy that continues to get better, and we're lucky to have him with us.
Pretty much.
Okay, thanks guys.
Coach.
Want to finish chatting?
Sure, yeah.
Okay.